thing I'd do if I got back was I just indulge. I just eat crap all day long.
Well, certainly the shakes out here are amazing, and the fries are, we have pretty good potatoes in Australia, so it's more the case of not like having, I mean, we eat vegetables and protein 4 nights, 5 nights of the week at home, and all that sort of thing. And I've had burgers quite a lot, and bagels, and sugar on sugar. The whipped cream on the milkshake, that was a new thing. I've had so many milkshakes in the US before, and I've never ever had whipped cream on a milkshake.
It's a poor man's topping.
Whipped cream on a milkshake. It's.
And everyone's looking at me like I was like, "Why do you do that?" And they're like, "Why not?"
Yeah, why not?
What are you talking about?
That's the whole point of America, is why not? We're live, by the way, guys.
Ah, stop.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
I've actually got a good America story. I'll start with this. I was with a colleague, and he was driving me back to where I'm staying here. And we were talking about America, and I started singing the Team America song. We're having a bit of a giggle, and I swear to God, 20 meters up the road, in front of us in the car, a bald eagle comes out of the sky, picks up a rat on the street, and flies off. And we were both like... I was waiting for a dude to come out of the bushes like... Oh, it was out of control.
Man.
No, yeah. Man. But yeah.
Couldn't have planned that if we'd tried.
That's the equivalent of getting off the plane in Sydney and being served at the customs desk by a kangaroo.
It was highly amusing. Hey everyone, welcome to Amigos and Co. Amigo and two grumpy dudes. There you go.
You gotta pick which one.
I have a very strong feeling that this will be a down key, down note kind of stream today. Not too excited, not too loud, not too passionate. We're here. Fucking deal with it.
No, it's you guys and the vibes, man. I'm fine.
We'll see.
I'm just really tired. Today I'm just tired. I just want to have a 3-week nap.
I'm camouflaging the couch. Does it look like I'm just a head on a couch?
No, we can see your tits. They're hanging out there.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too well, guys. I feel like shit. I don't know if you could tell my voice, but like I faked it for you guys like news interviewers do. But I'm wearing the sweaties. Look at my butt.
Yeah, that's right. Show us your ass.
Yeah,
see,
you guys like that? It's notebook.
Less than a minute in, and we're already up to buttholes again.
Yeah.
It's a theme. It's an ongoing theme.
I bring in the quality.
Low quality.
Wow.
Nice mug there, Steve.
Yeah, just that used to be black. It's just a $1 mug from Kohl's. It's got a great big chip on the other side, but I didn't care today.
And if you guys didn't know, Legion's now
I
makes
was
crafts.
so angry and upset, and then not upset because it's not his fault. But you donate to the nicotine film that's coming, right? And if you get a certain tier, you get that mug. So I got the mug. It was a prized possession. My you don't know nicotine mug. Yeah, it's fucking chipped. Kid was doing the dishes, and I don't know if he dropped something or he dropped it in or whatever, but there's a great big chunk out of the lip, so yeah, I can't use it. I'm like, and he got all sad, and then I felt really bad because I yelled at him, and I had to give him a hug, and then he went and cried, and the wife yelled at me, and then I gave him more hugs. It was just a scene, and at the end of it, I was like, it's just a fucking mug.
All right, well, for Brimley.
Yeah, that's my story. It's just a fucking mug.
Nobody likes a Legion.
Aww.
Sorry for the intermittent coughing fits. The coronavirus or whatever.
Just add lime.
Yeah.
It makes it really smooth.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit of salt.
Awesome. So I'll take over the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just do the show, and we'll just throw in like cranky or sick comments.
Yeah.
Legion, tell us what you're vaping, bro.
Today I am vaping on same thing as last week. Mostly got the topside dual and the axial because I am never ever giving up this kit. Together, it's just all I want to vape. Got some, of course, pink lemonade in there. Last bottle, I went through a full bottle last week. Just sucking it back like juice. It's really, really nice. Love that setup. Other than that, I got things here and there, but I'm not vaping too many of them. But what surprised me is this. This is the Prana from Lost Vape. It's just a little draw to inhale, sort of mouth to lung, straightforward pod system. It's the kind of thing that, you know, I never seem to get that excited about, except that this fucking killer flavor. It's just intense. I've had RDAs that don't have as much flavor as this. I've got banana cream pie from Glass in the salts, and it is really strong, really punchy. A lot of things that I've had, and I use that liquid specifically because some things, it either just tastes really not there, and other things, it just tastes like dirt, like it's just all the crust elements come through. But this is just, I can taste every single note. It's just beautiful.
I like that fit, that body on there. It's real clean.
Yeah, it's a nice little clean. Makes a nice change from that sort of stick style. I mean, it basically is a stick side by side, but yeah, nice little pocket shirt thing, easy to carry, easy to use. And on top of that, yeah, the Vinci Air just came in yesterday.
Ooh.
Not bad, not bad. I do that thing where they send me something and they don't give me extra coils. So I have 2 coils that come in the box, and I've got to use them before I actually review it. So I always start with the one I know will like the least, which is mouth to lung. So my first impressions are usually less than later impressions because I'm using the worst coil. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Not that different from previous Vinci's, though. It's just a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam? What are you up to this week?
Well, I'm staying in a place that doesn't allow the consumption of tobacco products, so I have to go outside, and it's quite cold outside, so I do that. But of course, I got my little banger, a little Yearn, a little blue and black number that picked up in NZ. It was very generously given to us by Mikey motherfucking Hunting Clouds, nicest man in e-liquid manufacturing. That has actually an apple pod in it, and I'm quite enjoying it. It's
Nice.
very appley and doesn't taste like a lemon pledge.
Is it a green apple or a red apple?
It's kind of a red apple. It's
That's different. Most of these are really tangy and bitey, but
yeah.
be kind of looking for a nice round, sort of smoother flavor.
It's one of those weird ones where you'll get 3 toots which are one flavor, and then you'll take another toot and it kind of flips. I don't know, but I definitely I vouch proper for the Yearn. I think they're amazing. I also have the Crown UL Crown pod, and of course I didn't learn how to take the pods off, so I brought a couple of pods with me because this was going to be my work banger, and I snapped them trying to get the stupid lid off it. But that's really good too. I prefer the 1 ohm, I think it is. There's a 0.6 ohm situation, which is a little bit more cloudage. But the 1 ohm, that's really good. Battery power is good on that. That's the UL flavor that you expect, I guess. That has in there, that's that Fresh Farms strawberry cake barnyard biscuit thing, whatever it's called, which is also very good. But I got some new.
Ooh, show us. I'm excited.
I have on there, I mean, the Topside Jewel is not, but that's the RDA for vaping. And my very first Chop Top from Jess Marie DHD. I know I'm late to the game with the Chop Tops, but I got the big jammies, so I don't dig on the small drip tips. But that is you can't really see because my lighting is so bad. But it's navy blue.
Nice.
Reminds me of my fam because we love navy blue. That's Chopped Up on the RDA for vaping, and bloody hell, it's a good RDA. I got some 27s, my 27 aliens in there, and that is vapping like the proverbial amazingness. But I also have unicorn vert.
Nice.
This is very special. This is I got the unicorn vert for very, very cheap. It was Arkansas e-liquids by their site. It was like $40 for the copper mech, and this has been corrupted, I believe is the term that he uses, by Palmer's Powders in Idaho. Mr. Ashton did his magic to it. I've got some black rings on here, but this is a slate grey. The camera is not picking that up. It's just getting lost in my sweater in the couch. That is slate grey, a very special slate that he had made custom for some other mods he was doing. And then on top of that is the Dang by Homeboy OC and Mr. Kent, with also the Platinum Balls DHD Nerd Tip on there. That's outstanding. 30T in there, triple 26s, kapow. That's really, really
That
good.
looks really comfortable.
Dude, the button, the feel, the tactile experience of Ashton's, powder coat. It's, he was saying that, like sometimes, well, not his, but, when you get that powder coat, I kind of expected a bit of a, not gummy, but, that feel of painting sometimes. It is beautiful. It is, very, very, very classy. So I'm very stoked with that, but I have to take that one outside because that is a veritable cloud weather system that hits like a mofo. But and a little black button with a grey unicorn action on the bottom, a little bit of Ashton's magique. So
Nice.
yeah, that is my special setup. But that's it, Mr. Chris. What you vapping, brah? Top side, go.
Top side, go. Rocket Blast. Yeah, I tried Nick Salts over the weekend. Did not like them. I'm not gonna do them ever again.
What did you do it in?
I got a Grim kit and I got some Undercover Anarchist pink, and I can't taste it at all. I've tried salts before. I've had this problem every time I try salts. Whenever I get anything that has a high nicotine, even in salts, I can't taste it. So, I don't know.
Whatever works for you, bro. Stick with what works.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like silent tonight, guys. I feel like shit. I even left work early, so I might intermittently leave in between to go pee out of my butt, just so you guys know.
Ooh.
Yeah, please don't do that. And I also
If you are, there you go. If you are gonna do that, grab a McDonald's cup and just stay where you are.
No, I do.
Do
If I'm
it.
gonna do that, I'm gonna get a Wendy's cup and make a Frosty. Let's be real.
Ooh.
This is small, by the way. That's a small.
In America, we call it a venti, bitch. No.
Venti.
You're in a
there's
land where things come in real sizes. Here everything is tiny.
Yep.
It's all a matter of perspective, brother.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Mickey D's. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
I missed all the chat. Mowgli says an RDA for fapping. Indeed, it is an RDA for fapping. Mr. Stephen Sard, haven't you got a vert? I thought Stephen Sard had a vert, but it is very, very nice, man. That is, what everyone keeps talking about those verts is that they are on the lower price, but they're, outperforming some much more expensive devices. So you should get a vert. If you've been thinking about it, get a vert. Do it. Yeah. Do it.
Speaking of doing it, didn't you have a story to tell us there, Adam?
I have a story to tell you. I did not tell that. Yeah, that was my America story.
Oh.
But I did go to another vape store the other day, having a bit of a walk around in part of the city. Went to Beyond Vape here in Seattle, and a little bit of a different situation than the other store I went in. I didn't end up going back on the Saturday to that store, I guess, which is kind of close-ish to me. Every time I step out the door here, because apparently I'm in an area, it's a built-up residential area. So anytime I step out of the door, I have to get an Uber. So I was in the city getting taken around by a work colleague, and so Beyond Vape was there, so I thought I'd take a little bit of a squiz. And they had some different things to say about the Inslee situation up here. Apparently the 7th or the 8th, they will be retailing e-liquids, and it's all a little bit up in the air, but same again, they were stoked. And I've been trying to find some stuff about it, but I can't find the writing, so I think the stores even are probably, scrambling to find information and see what they can do. And she brought up some really interesting, or the person that was there brought up some interesting things, because stuff that I'd forgotten about that we were reading about on Twitter when this was all happening. Stores that effectively order stock as they normally would to retail, and then the overnight situations, or they get what do you call it, like it comes up by surprise that they change the laws and then effectively enforce those laws. And they were like, so do we order stock to potentially be ready for that day, and then something changes 2 weeks later and we've got to find a way to get rid of it? Or a store is effectively taking their stock and storing it for a few months, which is, I think, what that store had done. They'd taken their stock off the shelves and are bringing it back.
Well, Beyond Vape are a chain, aren't they?
I think they got a few stores. Yeah.
Yeah, so they might be in a better situation to actually hold on to stock or move it to different states if need to be, unlike the smaller independents.
Yeah, rough situation, but same again. There's positivity. I mean, that they see some kind of situation, but that'd be rough, man. Rough.
Well, that's what's happening too. A lot of the states are passing these things that are going on, and they have no clue. And then when it comes down to it, they ended up getting raided and fined for not knowing. And the states don't disseminate information out good enough, for stuff like that. Like, there's a ton of fucking vape shops here in Vegas. In Vegas right now, knowing that vape store is being issued tobacco licenses in the state of Nevada and all that shit. A lot of these vape shops didn't know. And then, like, it's from the rumor mill, so you can't quote me on this, but I've heard some places that had no idea were running, like, operations as normal, and then they came in and fined them a bunch of money without them knowing, and, like, the thing in the United States is your ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you from it, and so it's kind of shitty, and a lot of people don't know about the stuff in Nevada. I don't talk about it as much as I probably should, but, yeah, you drive by vape shops now, and, like, all the doors are closed. Like, they've effectively so far have killed vaping in the state of Nevada without doing a ban and without going through and pushing actual legislation. They pushed the tax, and then now they're not issuing licenses to no one. So they've killed it without giving anyone any chance to do anything about it.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That's
I hear you.
I mean, they do the same with Australia and with medical marijuana, cannabis. They effectively like, yeah, and then no one will
apply or make the application or be
exactly. Yeah. I mean, things are kind of changing, but that's effectively the situation.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that on Friday.
Speaking of hard times coming up, I think we're looking at a dry spell coming up probably the next 2 to 3 months, as China is pretty much in a lockdown with the whole coronavirus thing. Factories and timing could not be worse for this. They all shut down. Everyone goes on holiday, and they have this kind of weird thing. Like, not everyone comes back from holiday. They usually take a while to start bringing things back to normal. It usually takes about a month or so, and they get new people in and gradually retrain everyone. And if you combine that with this coronavirus thing, a lot of these people haven't been able to travel.
Yeah.
A lot of factories haven't started up. A lot of them, it's just 5 people in an office sitting there waiting to figure out what to do. So by the time we get through this and they start building up production again and then shipping out, it's going to be a little while. So enjoy our new products that are coming now, because next month is going to be pretty dry.
And especially if a lot of people don't know, when they do Chinese New Year, it's kind of like a pilgrimage back to China. A lot of these people that work in there's a lot of industries in China, but the vape industry is very heavily reliant on China for making products. And so a lot of these people that are even on the state side traveled back, and now they're stuck there and they can't leave. And then all this stuff's going on. So yeah, if you guys see anything coming new right now, like Lee just said,
I would say if you're a vapor right now and you rely on any consumables that come from China, it doesn't hurt to stock up. If it's coils, if it's cotton, if it's anything like that comes directly from China, I know a lot of people in the industry on the vape side have been putting out their orders to stock up their stores. They planned for Chinese New Year. They're now running low, and they're not going to be getting new orders in for quite a while. So if you need stocks or whatever, or coils, yeah, order them in because there's going to be a shortage.
Can I just change tack for a second? Mr. T Crow is in chat, and thanks for joining us, Mr. T Crow. He's in North Dakota, right? So I'd like to know how. And Stephen, sorry, tangent. Stephen Sard's in what state is MD? Sorry.
Maryland.
Maryland, and then so North Dakota is where T Crow is. I'd like to know because maybe I haven't heard anything going on in North Dakota. Is like, how is the run-on effect affecting the stores there for you, T Crow, or even your store that you're in, the convenience store? I'd like to know how the run-on effect, if the state isn't being effectively directed by you know what I'm trying to say. Wow. Not straight up, affected by legislation that's changing the shit in the state, and also Michigan. We were talking in the Stooge Discord the other day that Michigan is going to be bringing back products soon. They're changing, old mate up there, the legislation. Am I correct in saying that?
I haven't seen anything.
Haven't heard a word on that.
Yeah. So it's like this Band-Aid period where stores are able to retail for a bit until they either bring in or pass or don't pass the laws and legislations. It's a weird time. It's like
isn't Dakota where Ruby Roo is?
I believe she's in Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there was some stuff going on there.
Yeah, Colorado tried doing a ban, but I don't remember how it went. Oh man, I am not up on it today. Sorry guys. Usually I would know this stuff on Mondays when I go into work. I sit down, do my posts, and then I come through and I fucking read all the news, what's going on in the States. But I left early. I was feeling like crap. But in the chat we got Thomas Crow says in his area that a lot of people are going back to cigarettes, which is sad. I've seen a lot of that too going on. And then RC7007 in the chat. I don't think I've seen them before. Welcome. It said a lot of companies are closing down in China for good. The impact's going to be huge. I didn't hear anything about that necessarily, but then again, I don't know. He says in the chat, Apple closed down everything already. I mean, that for a lot of big companies and stuff like that, I'm sure that's going to take an effect. But to be fair, like there's no way that the world can operate without China being a producer of exporting goods. I don't think that this will last forever, but it will definitely put some of the smaller companies, under the rug.
Yeah, totally. And also to address Dale Power, that would be a firm no. just working heaps, man. Although that would be nice, but that's a no.
Speaking of which, on a more pleasant note, you're in the States training for a new job. Now I know you can't talk too much about it, but how are you enjoying the training? It's a bit of a change for you.
Yeah, totally, man. Like you get comfortable doing what you do. Like I've certainly been in a very comfortable, it's easy for me to do the role that I've been doing, even if it's not, the job that I've wanted for a little while. And then you go to a place where you've got to adult properly and communicate in a concise and business-like manner, so I've felt very stupid.
So do you got to wear a suit or something? You got to class it up a little bit?
No, casual business, and that's very loose definition there. But it's nice to learn, new skill set. I'm certainly creating some brainwaves, even if I look like this. But I'm certainly creating some new pathways and upskilling very quickly. And I mean, even I have a task list for myself that, when I come home, there's things in business that I've never done before or never communicated in that way. So definitely rolling with the big dogs as far as that goes. And Australia is a funny place. I certainly am patriotic to my country, but we have some things that we need to probably apologize for and to work on, like every country. So it's always a strange thing, coming here and doing this is easier. When I go home and do business with people at home, that'll put me in challenging position. So yeah,
business in Australia. Sorry to interrupt, but business in Australia is very strange because it's got the same sort of ground level as the rest of the world, but there's kind of this expectation of mateiness on top of everything. The way you communicate with people and deal with people, it's just a little bit more. It's where it's like enforced chumminess that
Well, there's
America
definitely-
just doesn't really have. America's like they're very very straightforward.
Yeah.
I'll send you an invoice for that, thanks. Whereas Australians are like, oh yeah, sure, mate. And they'll show you pictures of their kids, and talk about the weekend and the footy. And if you don't know footy, then you're fucked. So we're not going with you. We're going with that guy. He's bidding more, but
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the footy with that guy.
Have a beer, mate.
Yeah. God forbid you don't like footy or beer.
Yeah. Well, I don't do either of those things, so it looks like I'm screwed.
That's okay. Come hang at my place.
Proper screwed.
So have you hung out by the water cooler yet?
No, but I had my first corporate call. You know, I listened to a corporate conference call, and there was a few mics and a few bobs, and you know, I was like, "What am I listening to?" I'm pretty sure I watched a rap song about this from the '90s. You know? Yeah, but everyone's been trying to, do the Australian accent at me, so that they've all got their own little expressions that they're trying to drop them. I don't
Painful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on, man. Really? Yeah. Seeing the eagle the other day, that was just the funniest, absolutely on cue moment. You couldn't have set that up any better. So.
Dude, tell a story again. We got more people in here now.
Okay. Really quickly, I was with a work colleague traveling in a car, and we were having a bit of a joke because he's got a wicked sense of humor, and I don't know what happened. I just randomly started singing the Team America theme song. I guess that song that everyone knows, and out of nowhere, a bald eagle flew down maybe 20 meters in front of us in the car. There was no other cars. We were just driving along, and this bald eagle comes out of nowhere and picks up a rat on the side of the street and then flies off with it. And we were both like, outstanding. I was like,
It's like one of those scenes you would see from, The Simpsons or American Dad,
Yeah.
You can hear the car that flies down, and it picks it up, and it flies away, and then the hunter comes and shoots it, and then it falls down and explodes into fireworks. They go, USA, USA, and they're just like, ugh.
And also, I don't know if that was the same day, but it was very, very soon to when Emily, Vape Advocacy AU, posted in the Amigos, her sister filming that that koala just wandering down the residential street in Adelaide. Just so people know, if you saw that, that's not common. That is not common in any way, shape, or form. I've never seen it move that.
Usually, we're riding them to school.
Yeah, totally. With the
Yeah.
Well, the real question is, how come she didn't give it a drink of water like everyone else on the internet?
because he was going for a beer, buddy.
Oh, okay.
He was heading off down to the bar for put some money on the horses and have a couple of schooners.
And all the Americans are going, where do the boats come in? Schooner, boats, what?
Yeah, indeed.
You got to translate, buddy.
Sorry, I was talking the local vernacular.
It's true.
It's true. Fair dinkum.
Love
And
that.
I want to address the chat real quick. Steven Sard says that, just think, if Thomas Jefferson had his way, America's national bird would have been the turkey. I believe that was Ben Franklin, man. You prove me wrong and I'll give you something for free.
I'm pretty sure, Stephen, he's talking about nudes he's sliding into your DM.
I didn't say what.
Yeah. It's a trap.
I'll give you one of my fucking dirty, wet nose rags, stuff it to a tube mod.
It's the saying we have a ton of bald eagles. Blackwater Wildlife Refuge has been a huge part in why they have come back to a healthy population. That's amazing. Awesome.
Dude, have you got two phones there?
Do I have what?
Two phones?
2 phones?
Yeah. Or are you streaming off laptop?
Streaming off laptop and looking at chat on my mobile device.
I thought you were on your phone there for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
big guy, he's got the one phone for streaming, one for reading.
You gotta be
work
cool.
and
The
one for
2
porn.
phone life. The 2 phone life, man.
You
Oh,
know,
I turned it off. It's my work phone.
Yeah. Vandal's also got a pager though. He's got drug deals going on his pager.
Good night, Glenn. Thanks for hanging out, homie.
Latest, bro.
Oh man. But yeah. Sorry, we're not that interesting tonight, guys. I am feeling like shit. But let's see.
That's cool. What should we chat about now? Moving on.
So I did see. I think we've had him on the show before, and we're friends on Facebook. But Kev Coyles posted a thing about this ad that they're showing off, and I just want to show it to you guys. And it reminds me so much of like this bullshit narrative that people are advertising to kids and shit. When honestly, I'm sure we can all agree that the kids probably didn't see so much vaping stuff until antis started putting it, and then making them post for it or doing social media challenges. But like, look at that picture right there. Tell me who's advertising to kids more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, if I saw that as a kid, I'd be like, "Oh, that looks cool. That's what I want to do." And then the other part to it as well is that you see like these tobacco-free foundations or whatever, or Orange or whatever it is, telling kids to send in videos of them destroying their vapes and stuff. Number one, you're telling kids to get their hands on vapes to give them social media clout, which is like the no heroin. And then number two, you're posting it online. So you're enticing kids to come into it. Like imagine if in the 90s, the DARE program that I went through in the United States that taught me to stay off drugs was like, bring in a kilo of pot and destroy it. We'll put you on TV. At least that's my angry man rant.
Back when I was a kid, way back in the old days, every TV show had a very special episode about either pot or punk rock. And we would watch them, and it was just the most ridiculous, asinine plot line. And it would be so fucking obvious that the people who wrote this and put this together either knew nothing about what they were talking about, or they were all closet potheads, and they were just kind of having fun with the idea, like doing bullshit. And the kind of anti-vaping advertising I see these days is not that far off from that. It's so ridiculous. I just imagine that 13 and 14-year-olds are running around looking at it and just shitting themselves with laughter. Yeah. And then popping on their Juuls or their puff bars or whatever it is this week.
Yeah.
Things like that's become a thing. Juul has tanked. Puff bars is the new thing. I got a comment a week ago. Someone said puff bars. I had to look it up. Like, what the fuck is a puff bar?
Man, we've been on top of keeping on top of the news for, like, I have to openly admit, the last 3 months for me, I have stepped right away from advocacy just for the moment. I needed to step away. I'm not got my finger on the pulse, but I had never heard of a puff bar until just recently.
They're really big in the States.
Everybody's saying, but the sales were huge. Like, where was that 6 months ago? How can a product come up and sell so many? How long has a puff bar been out?
Not that long. I don't think more than a year. But what trips me out is that they're preloaded pods, I believe, because they're preloaded devices, but they're single use. So they get by going through that whole process of the ban right now because the ban didn't ban single use products. And so basically it's just like a Juul, but you can't buy new pods for it. So essentially the legislation created a way to create more waste, but actually do nothing to cessate this fake epidemic.
That makes zero sense.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Freaking out of control. Anyway, so yeah, I was just shocked that I'd never heard of them. And I mean, those products, disposable products like that, are they any different, really?
Not really. I mean, the core of it, it's the same basic thing. And that's the ridiculousness of legislation.
That's single use.
Well, you have, like I say, you have legislation that is flawed from the beginning because people don't understand how this works. They don't understand why it works. They don't understand what it does. They don't understand the differentiation of products on the market. So all of a sudden, yeah, like you said, you can sell a single-use disposable device with a battery, but you can't sell something where those two things come apart, a pod and a battery. That's illegal, but the other version where they're bound together is. That's ridiculous law.
Yeah. Well, this is the dangerous part.
Yeah.
In their eyes, right? This is a...
I think one reason...
That's the part that has all the evil drugs in it.
Coming from, a perspective of maybe like a marketing side or something of it, what they're trying to do to, what it does is limiting the industry with stuff that they have to pay attention to. You know what I mean? So then now it's easier to get like to say like it's just one product instead of people mixing jewel pods with clones or knockoffs and stuff like that. So I can understand that, but does it make sense? No.
Yeah.
I would never say this on my channel. I would never say this on my Facebook, but I can't remember who it was. It was Stephen Didact, I think, posted a couple weeks back. It was a presentation, an anti-vaping for schools presentation, and the school showed a table worth of all the stuff they'd confiscated over the year. And this is the hype. This is the peak of the hype of anti-Juul hysteria. And all their rhetoric was anti-Juul. And I looked at all those pictures, and it was like 2 Juuls, 3,
Yeah.
a handful of pod systems, a bunch of shit that looks like this, a lot of pods, a lot of smock, a lot of sort of all-in-one kit with sub-ohm tanks, but not a lot of Juuls. And I was looking at that going, yeah, so this doesn't really line up. What you're showing doesn't line up with the rhetoric. Like they were talking about Juuls and how horrible they are. All the anti-vaping rhetoric at that point was all focused on Juul and that kind of thing. And yet they're showing it's not really what kids are buying, is it? It's all what they're getting their hands on.
Yeah.
But then again, they think the flavors is the problem, and
The
they were
stats
wrong
prove
with
that.
that.
Wrong.
So clearly, they know nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. I was just going to address the chat. Brett says the Philippine vape ban was much ado about nothing in the end. Same rules as smoking, so not in public, outside designated areas. And then a 22% tax over and above sales tax hurts a bit, but you can still sell e-liquid. Yeah, so what they do is they make it harder for you to find, but while letting you be able to access it, they're still getting their fair share.
Look at that. And then he says, talking to vape shop owners, sales have increased significantly in the last 12 months.
It's not bad. I think the main thing with the Philippine law wasn't so much. I mean, at first we didn't know the details of it, but it's the severity of the punishments if you are caught vaping where you shouldn't. Here you're not allowed to vape where you can't smoke.
Yeah.
But if you get caught vaping where you can't smoke, or if you're ignorant of where you are, etc., you get a fine.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
It was
Sounds like the fine or the punishment there is a little bit more severe than a simple fine.
Yeah, it was interesting watching Squidley's vlog, or like his vlog when he brought it out a few days ago. I can't remember which country he was in, where his wife and their family is from, and he was doing the vape shop tour. Indonesia, is it? I think.
Cambodia, Indonesia, Thailand,
somewhere like
somewhere,
that. Might be
somewhere
Thailand.
like that.
And he was saying that in the stores there, the government has kind of embraced it, and yes, they put a tax on it, but it's not killing the businesses. So every bottle of e-liquid there comes like a packet of cigarettes does. It's got the stamp on there to say that yes, the businesses paid their tax.
A tax stamp.
Or whatever. Yeah. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like that at least they're not killing it. I mean, cigarettes have more tax. E-liquid does have a tax, but it's not, it's not the same. They haven't put it as the same as tobacco, that's a huge thing, that they're at least they're doing something,
And not,
See,
sorry, go ahead.
If we go back to what we were saying before, they've got a real opportunity right now with China pretty much shut down for a little while. Indonesia does have a manufacturing industry that does do a small range of vaping products, but they've never been able to compete. If they ramp things up right now, they really do have an opportunity to push into the market.
Yeah.
That's sorry.
Is Joshua here in Washington as well? I didn't realize. So he would be seeing that also firsthand too.
Yeah, Brett says that basically you can't smoke anywhere in public in the Philippines except designated areas, but you can walk up to a kilometer to find a smoking area.
Okay.
And then it's a $50 Australian dollar fine if you're caught.
Oh, it's not too bad. I thought it was worse than that.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a $50 bribe, not a fine.
That's what government fines are. They're bribes.
Yeah, slush fund. Yeah, indeed.
I gotta adjust my heater.
What Joshua was saying, now my other home state of Florida is banning shit that went through today. We're having more and more state 2,000 vape shops in Florida, only 20 people showed up.
That's a little disappointing.
That is very disappointing.
It's all right. Be disappointed, and I'm not. I mean, it's kind of negative, but it's happening everywhere. Here in Nevada, we have the highest per capita of vape manufacturers, and when we had our hearings, we had maybe 8 people show up. So
It is
Pushing
painful
shit up a hill.
to get people to show up for anything, even if it's in their best interest.
yeah, and it's funny because I think I talked to you, Adam, about it on Friday's show, but the pieces all fell in line after the fact. So I know I talked about it before, but we had our hearing about the tax, right, and all this stuff, and we had the kids coming on the buses and all this. The person that sponsored the bill, this Senator Juliet Ratty from Northern Nevada, sponsored the bill, and then like I didn't know that you could look into who donates into like the people of like your Congress, your state Congress and stuff like that, and how they get their funding. I didn't know you could just look that up. So we found out after the fact. But during the meeting when we were in there, they were talking about proposing the tax and how it would really like F us up being like actual vape products, you know what I mean? And shit like that. And then they said that like products like Juul, which they claimed were causing this problem, because Altria was there. It wasn't them, but they sent representatives. And so they said blah blah blah. They're going through all this, you know, like we're gonna ban everything or we're gonna tax everything, blah blah blah. And then when they talked about it, the tax for the tobacco products the size of Juul, because they're charging per milliliter, was going to be so insignificant that Altria had no problems at all with it whatsoever. And I thought that was weird, but you know, maybe they don't care because you know they're going to get theirs in the end because that's the cheaper on their tax. Come to find out, after I learned that you can research who's donating to them, she was actually donated $1,000, and I looked this up because you know I don't want to sound fucking crazy. That it's $1,000 to rent 3 we call them stagecoach buses, to bus these kids in. So Altria paid her off to pass this tax, bust the kids in with the money of this company that they're saying is polluting our youth, and that's how they got that to go through. And also, you know, most Juuls and stuff like that aren't sold in vape shops, at least not nowhere here in Nevada. So now what happened is they're not issuing tax licenses, or tobacco licenses, to vape shops, shutting down vaping in Las Vegas and Nevada, the whole state basically, except for convenience stores, which guess what? Sell Juuls. Yeah. So Julia Ratty, I know you'll never watch this because you're sitting up on your fucking high horse. The lies, fuck you. But yeah.
Sideways.
Yeah. Not even sideways, with a dirty fucking sock inside some sandpaper or something. Now I'm going too far.
Speaking of donations and whatnot, I was just checking Vape Advocacy AU's little Instagram posts of, well, you can't see that on my screen, sorry about that, but how to win friends and influence people, Big Pharma edition, Pfizer, donating to the Australian Electoral Commission annual political donor dump. I mean, you know, it's not the same figures, obviously, that you have in the US, but that's $52,000 to, you know, National Party, Australian Labor Party.
Yeah, we call them PACs here in the
Party.
United States. So basically a political action committee, and then basically they do the bidding of the people that can't show their face to say that they're doing it for. It's the easiest way to launder money in the United States.
Yeah. And then edition number 2, the generosity of Johnson & Johnson, because they're looking out for people.
Yeah, them baby oil motherfuckers.
Yeah, hashtag Nicorette. That's $114,000 to those same liberal, political parties. So, yeah, that's paying for the Christmas party at the end of the year when they.
I got into the wrong business, man.
You did.
You want to be rich nowadays, you got to be a politician, man.
Yeah, man.
Step on other people to get where you're going. And it's funny because you would always imagine, like, at least here from what my perception growing up in the States, politicians, these guys up in suits and these women in suits standing up there fighting for your rights, but they're not doing nothing for you. And if you want more proof in that from the United States perspective, just look at the fact that you have so many of these Democratic and presidential hopefuls, right? Or people running for it and stuff like that. A lot of them are saying, cut out big funding, cut out billionaire money and all this, blah, blah, blah. But essentially, they're all anti-vape because of the corporations that donate to them that are pharmaceutical are making money. And like I've always thought this disclaimer when I talk about politics. I don't care what side you're on; it's bullshit. But it's really heavily prevalent right now on the left side of politics, the United States. That you don't know what you need. We're gonna tell you what you need, and then we're gonna go a shit way about it by proving it through negative ways. Like not being truthful, and then presenting you with a picture of a cake and you bite into it. It's a fucking a chili burrito. That was a terrible reference. I'm sorry.
It's not that hard to see a chain of events. You build up a hysteria, you create some panic and fear, and then you promise to deal with it. And you do so in such a way that, like your example there in Nevada, it favors the companies that are paying for you, and it disadvantages those that they want shut down. And so you end up in a year or two's time with nothing but pre-made, pre-filled jewels that cost an arm and a leg, not because of taxes, but because they're the only fucking thing on the market, and that's what you have to pay. It's one thing after another. It's a planned progression. You can pretty much see it.
Everything is delicately planned out with the United States government with how they're doing this too. This is no surprise thing. This is nothing that's going to come out of nowhere. The government doesn't go after something that they're not confident in, and that's why they didn't care about the vape industry as far as mom and pops outside of the companies that are from big tobacco, because it came from the tax board that passed this, which means that they know our income and how much money we make, which means they know how much they could take from us to survive, and it wasn't enough for them.
Yeah.
Well, if the bottom line is dollars, and the bottom line is how much can you donate to me as a politician, a company that makes diapers and baby oil and medicines and has holdings,
cigarettes?
Yes,
For
has holdings in billions of different things, has a lot more wherewithal than a company that makes 3 different atomizers a year, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they have no power. They have no financial power. And that's where our industry is grassroots. It is a bunch of small companies and small mom and pop stores and independent distributors and all that things. That's where we've fallen down. We don't have the might. We don't work together. We don't have the financial power together to affect things the way one single solitary company. Altria can come in and they can donate billions if they want to. And it really doesn't affect their bottom line. None of us and none of the companies in our industry even have a tenth of that power.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Money is irrelevant. Money is nothing.
They spent
It just represents power.
$20 million on, setting up their offices with coffee for the year. It's ridiculous.
Basically, and that's the thing, if anyone outside of America doesn't understand this, we preach this anti-communistic and anti-socialistic system, but our government is ran on a very socialistic system of donors. And it's ran on these groups. And then, you know why they don't want this? Well, no, fuck it, I'll put it on. My opinion is why they don't want the country and the people to follow these ideals is because then they'll benefit just like the government is. And so they're telling you this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, but the country is being ran by basically a socialist system of corporations.
Yep. Can I the tangent I'm giving Thomas Crow? That's out of control. Mic drop from Thomas Crow. And also George D. I was hoping that Emily would chime in there because she knows about how the contributions can be made. So I think that's a firm yes that they can donate to the political parties. It's how they go about it. But yeah, $165 million in donations. Thomas Crow, yeah.
I got a quick laugh for you guys. Oh, she moved. This is what I deal with every stream.
They just want to cuddle, man. That's all they want to do.
I don't want them in here. It's all vaped out. I don't want them to turn gay. No, that was a bad joke.
Takes after his daddy.
Hey, it's only on Wednesdays. Wiener Wednesdays.
Well, why don't you stream that shit?
Did you just say Wiener Wednesdays?
Wiener Wednesdays. Yes, I did.
Hashtag. So good. Oh, dear.
But, yeah, we're about to hit an hour, guys. So you know what? Let's go ahead and let me choose something from our mystery box of stuff to give away.
We should have a bumper that says, going to put my hand in my box.
Let me make a note. Daisy out. God damn it. That's my child.
While you are getting ready for a giveaway, I'm going to ask Adam a question, just to fill some time. And then maybe Chris can answer it when we're waiting for X's. Not vape related in any sense, just time filler.
Yes.
Tell me about the best time you had revenge.
Oh, revenge. Man, I'm so vanilla. Revenge, it's not like, I guess, like directly something that I've done. It's seeing something else happen. So, wow, put me on the spot. I'm so vanilla, man. I don't want people to get hurt, you know?
I'll tell you what, just so you understand where I come from, I'll tell you my story.
Yep.
That's what this was all about. I just want to
Awesome.
talk.
Yep.
I was between jobs, and a friend of mine, actually my brother-in-law, got me a job in this restaurant. I'd worked in kitchens before. I'd been a line cook and all of that stuff. At that point, I was still quite young, so a few semi-management jobs. And this place turned out to be a fine dining, silver service kind of place. Not really my comfort zone, not really where I worked. And I ended up being dish pig. So they were only open for lunches, business lunches, that kind of thing. Pretty high-end shut, right? All the guys were, the waiters were wearing tuxes and that kind of stuff. And I ended up working dish, which turned out to be fucking awful. I've worked in a million kitchens, and I'm always the first person to step in and help the dish guy when things get out of hand, because I understand what it's like. This place, one person, no help, no one would consider ever helping you. And the bus boys would take all the plates and glasses and ashtrays at this time and dump them into one bucket and bring it back. So it was floating with food and cigarette butts and coffee and alcohol and all just mixed together. It was just the worst thing. And I was like, I can see you have tables, you have garbage cans. Why don't you dump stuff, put them in the bin? You don't have to stack it up nicely. I don't care about that. Just dump the crap before you bring it to me. And I worked there for about a week. And it just started really getting to me, because I'd worked in lesser places where they had good systems and they respected their team, even if you're at the lowest. It just really bothered me, the complete lack of respect. And I looked at this place and went, I'm the only dishwasher, and no one else will touch this stuff. So I went in and I was like, fuck this. And I went slow. And I watched, and we had a stack of bus pans, and I watched them slowly go down, and I watched the pile next to me slowly back up. And the manager came in, he's like, you gotta fucking hurry up. We need plates, we need this, we need that. I'm like, yeah, I'll try. And I waited till all the bus pans were filled. There wasn't a single one left. Took my apron off. 10 o'clock. It's 1 p.m. You guys are open for another 4 hours. Going home. And I just left. Never went back. Never got my last check. Didn't care. I went out of my way to purposefully screw them. I knew that every single cook had their papers. They were chefs. They weren't touching that stuff. That's not their job. I knew that the bus boys and the waiters wouldn't touch it. The only person that could get in there and deal with this, management. It's their job. Fucking deal with it.
Oh dear. Amazing.
So that is my favorite story of personal revenge.
Excellent.
I will plead the fifth on personal revenge, because I have done some stuff that probably get me in trouble. I've already shared enough on this shows that, man, if they ever looked. Anyways, I do have it wasn't exactly revenge, but it was sweet satisfaction. So when I was overseas, we went and we attached to another unit that was there beforehand. So we'd go in and we don't train with them for a month, but they show us how everything goes. We switch them out, and then we take over. So while we were there was this CAV unit that was there, and I went with a signal unit. And if you guys know what that means, basically a bunch of fucking nerds. I was a line mechanic and a signal unit. So anyways, we go in there, and the guy that was there, he was called a staff sergeant. I call him staff sausage because it's disrespectful. And he was a total asshole the whole time. When you first walk in, right? I'm off. You do have shifts there, so I'm off duty, but I go in to make sure that I'm getting all the info, right? So I show up on my PTs, and you're not supposed to wear your PTs unless you're off. So this asshole had no idea about it. So I walk in, starts yelling at me like I'm back in boot camp and shit, basic training and all this stuff. Oh! Yelling at me, going all crazy as an asshole to everyone. This guy's a total dick, man. Made my first month there terrible. Come to find out, this guy was fooling around with someone that was younger than us, and staff sergeant in the Army is an E6, which is a pretty high amount of rank to earn up to, right? It takes you, most people get out and retire at that rank in the enlisted side. Anyways, guy was a total dick all the time. He had an affinity against energy drinks. That you'd walk in with one, he'd make you throw it away. Like, you just opened it and make you throw it away. This guy was a total dickbag. So anyways, they found out he was fooling around with a younger person in a different unit, and you're not supposed to do that. He was also married. So this guy ended up getting his ass handed to him so hard, they took away his rank, kicked him down to private, and then shipped him out of the country. And last I heard, because I had a friend that I met and I made that was in his unit, and I talked to him like once a year, And last time I heard, he actually ended up working at the gas station outside the base, looking miserable as fuck. So yeah, fuck that guy. But yeah, so for the giveaway, Red Anarchist 2 V2 comp mod.
Oh. Nice, man.
And I found out last week when I sent out the one that won last time, right? Because I don't know this. I'm not good with the mechs and shit. It was actually missing nothing. The thing that was inside of it, because the guy that gave them to me at work, the giveaway, was like, oh yeah, that wasn't the parts kit. It was just bubble wrap. So whoever, I can't remember off the top of my head. I feel like shit. I ended up getting it an extra one, whatever, But it's all love. But let me go
It's
ahead.
all love, man.
Yeah. And then you guys go ahead and stop doing the X1s, and I'll toss them in like 2 minutes. And thank you for being here, hanging out with us. I feel like shit. I left early today. I almost canceled out on the stream, but Adam can't host it, and all this shit, and yeah.
We appreciate you, Chris. And also everyone else hanging out and chat with us on a Monday night or Tuesday lunchtime if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Big love.
If, when we're done, for all the people in chat, if you're hanging out for a little bit of more structured vape information than you got here, just to let you know, if you haven't noticed, the Vaping Biker is back. He did do an hour-long show this morning. It's a bit of a change. It's a combination news and review advocacy sort of magazine show. So yeah, Vaping Biker, Dean's a lovely fellow. Definitely worth supporting. So when you're done here in our mess, go over, check him out. Definitely subscribe, leave a nice comment, and enjoy the show. He does some beautiful, beautiful work.
Absolutely. Dean's a legend. Yeah.
I would not be here if it wasn't for Dean. Dean's a major, major inspiration for me. So I'm so happy to see him back.
Nice, man.
Oh, man. All right, I just addressed the chat real quick. Josh Apathy says that he had a bad one. He was in a car accident that killed 3 people in an accident but himself. And then his brother and both people in the other car. I was in the hospital for 18 months, 13 surgeries. Really, really fucked up, but ended up living well. While I was in the hospital, my girlfriend at the time cheated on me and broke up with me. She had some great 32 double D tits. That's his wording. That's just not me. And she flashed me when... Oh, man. It keeps breaking up the chat. I gotta wait till he does the next part. She broke up with him and then gave him a hard one and told me that she cheated on me. So she flashed him while he was in the hospital and cheated on him, and then, wow.
It's a heavy story.
I'm waiting for the revenge part. The chat's taking a second to load up.
Whoa, Joshua. Whoa. Whoa.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not even going to read that part. Y'all can see it.
I'm hoping you didn't have anything to do with arranging that, Joshua. I hope that's just a karmic thing and not a directly involved issue.
I think sometimes when your time is up and it's written, your time is up.
Yeah,
Whoa.
they said that in The Mummy or something, right? Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
All right.
That's intense.
Just like camping. All right.
I'm going to say a little piece. There's a lot of stuff going down right now. I'm sure all of you, if you're here, you watch a lot of the reviewers, and there's been a couple of reviewers who've put their hand up to stop what they're doing, and a bit of drama going on with some other companies and some other reviewers, and there's a lot of stuff going down, and just got to take a big deep breath and stay strong. You know, things are going to get better. There's no doubt. There's a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, and some crazy stuff. People doing some pretty intense decisions. So keep it together, everyone, please.
And like I've been yelling at you guys since day one, it's gotten better. It's gonna get worse, and it's gonna get better. And the grand scheme of things have gotten better to a degree. And just keep it up. But like Adam was saying earlier, he had to take a break from Twitter and the advocacy stuff. We get it. It's fucking tolling because all you're doing. This is the way I want to compare it, and then we'll do the giveaway. When you're doing the advocacy stuff, you're always on a battlefield, like, you know, metaphorically. And all you're going to be doing is fighting the whole time. That's all it is fighting the whole time. So it's going to take so much out of you. That's why it's very important to take a break. Take 2 weeks off. Shit, take 6 months off. Shit, I know some people that some of you guys in this chat know that took fucking a long time off, said they hated vape, started doing it again. Whatever. You know, like, take the time that you need. No one's going to be mad at you for doing that. It's better that, sure, like, you know, we want to say vaping and all this stuff, but it's better that you're here mentally surviving this than sitting here beating yourself to death so much that's going to push you to the points where you're not enjoying why you're fighting.
Yeah. But also a shout out to those people that are continuing to trudge through it. That's like, it's not an easy thing. So, you know, big props to you all for doing that as well. There's a few people in the chat that are constantly, you know, they're an inspiration because I see their posts, you know, like, big ups to you. Yeah.
And with that, let's choose a contest winner. Legion, give me a number between 1 and 674.
69.
I fucking knew it. All right, up or down?
Down.
What about
I'd
sideways?
go down.
All right,
Sideways?
down is Joshua Apathy Miller. He won the red Anarchist V2 comp mod.
Bro.
That's better than a girlfriend with double D tits.
Yeah, man, and this... Nah, I'm not even going to make a joke about that. That was rough. But yeah, so there you go,
Awesome.
bro. Joshua, I don't know if... I'm not that great with social media, remembering if I have you on there or not. If you have Instagram, you can send your info to either Adam or myself, and then he'll forward it to me if you don't have me, at Chris Vandal, Breeze Tones, and then we'll get that sent out. I don't know if I'll send it out tomorrow. I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. I might not go to work. I feel so shitty.
I'll write you a letter, man.
But yeah, pen pals.
Dr. Breeze Tones. Yeah.
Dr. Jizz Tones, I'm here for your checkup.
Take 2 White Claws and call me in the morning.
Ugh. Oh, speaking of which, it's like over 2 months now. No alcohol.
Hey, good for you, man.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I look like I've been drinking like I'm sick.
How are the meetings going?
I ain't doing that meeting stuff. No offense to anyone that needs it. I didn't get anything crazy. I didn't beat someone up. I didn't steal alcohol. I didn't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? I'm a fairly responsible adult. It was a choice I made on my own to make a change. And so I'm a little proud of the fact that I was able to last this long because, to be honest, when I first told myself I'm going to stop drinking, I thought I'd be tempted all the time. And now I've gone out to a couple things where I see friends drinking, getting all fucked up, and public, like places like restaurants and shit. And I'm just like, man, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
So is your lady partaking?
She doesn't really even drink on top of like normally.
Yeah.
And so, like, she just screamed from the other room, hell no, I'm not. But, yeah, no, she doesn't actually, like, drink anything. She loves to drink whole fucking pitchers of the sangria at the Olive Garden, which are basically made in a 5-gallon bucket, and they pour everything in. So it's maybe, like, 0.01% alcohol.
Yeah.
You want
I don't want to be on camera.
Oh,
it's fine.
well, then
It's
you better
fine,
get
I'm
out.
not
You
on
better get out.
I'm just saying, I'm not stopping to drink with you.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't stop drinking for her. She's not that cool.
Oh, harsh.
Careful, man.
I'm waiting it out until, you know, the dogs go to college, and then I have my second run, go buy a Corvette. You know.
Here's $50 and here's the keys, get out.
Yeah, basically. You know, that's why then, because our lease is up here soon, we move to a new house, gotta make sure it's at least a 3-bedroom, so I move into the room across the hall. Yeah, but yeah, anyways, Joshua, make sure you send us your info with your name, address, all that good shit, and we'll get that sent out. If I go to work, it'll be tomorrow. If I don't, it'll be probably Wednesday. But yeah, so we'll get that sent out. Anyways, closing thoughts. Mr. Breeze Toads.
Yeah, been enjoying my time in the States, and got a few more days here, and going to go home and give my family the most massive, squishy, moist hug. Looking forward to it, but we'll be back probably soonish, and yeah, stay strong and give that love to all your peeps every day.
Legion, what do you got?
Things here are progressing as normal. Reviews 2 to 3 a week, and good news. I am pretty much done with the planning, budgeting side of the film.
Nice.
So we will be moving into fundraising hopefully soon. I've got to put together a video that I decided I can't film it here, so I'm gonna actually put that together and put a little bit of thought into that, because that's the front face of fundraising. But once I get that together, boom, it'll be launched, and you guys will all hear about it first.
Nice.
So that's going on, and other than that, yeah, not much. Storms, trees falling down in my front yard. Going to the doctor tonight to get something cut off my leg, because I got like a twin growing out my leg.
That's your wiener.
It's a little bit lower than that, but yeah. You saying I'm a dick face?
Oh, you sat on your leg.
Yeah.
Your dick leg.
Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Stay on, stay safely.
Yeah, and then I know I told everyone in the Amigos group on Facebook, this is my last closing thought, that I was going to start Patreon on Friday. I gave it a couple more days. After I close out this stream, Patreon goes live. So you guys that are already donating to us, I explained in the thing, but I'll explain it real fast. All the money that is going into there is either going to go to shipping products for giveaways for you guys, and we're going to figure out how to do a portion of it to go to Legion's documentary. So if you guys wanted to take away money, or you guys wanted to do anything, we're very gracious and thankful for you guys that are willing to give us your hard-earned money, because you believe in whatever the fuck this is that we're doing. But that's where the money's going to be going, and we will always be transparent with the issues. Not issues, but with whatever goes on. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for dragging me out of bed and getting me on here. I was literally passed out, and Adam had to text me.
Yeah, like 4 times. And then I texted him some boobs, and then he was like, I'm awake. I got you.
But yeah. So otherwise, everyone have a great night, and we'll see you. I don't know if I'll be back Friday if I feel this shitty, but we'll let you guys know. Anyways, thank you for being here so much. Mucho love, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.